Welcome to the Q1 Buck Poll. I'm Tim Hart with Mike Rainbuck Hoffner with the reindeer antlers on right now.
Tim, it's Christmas. I'm trying to get into the Christmas spirit. And this is my consolation prize for not shooting a big one so far. So the heat is really on me. I'm running out of time.
He's got time, though. You still got a week to go. And you've got until December 31st to register your buck or doe. And if not, February 19th, we will be at the Lansing Deer and Turkey Spectacular, and we'll have a last chance to register there, so you can bring your deer over there. Well, on today's show, we have a fabulous show. We've got the DNR director. He is the new director this year, Rodney Stokes, talking with us.
He's going to talk about some of the hot topics that the DNR is faced with this year in Michigan.
Exactly. Then we're off to the Soaring Eagle Casino. In the kitchen at the Soaring Eagle, we've got Chef Rhonda Nugent with us making venison ragu with some mozzarella cheese bread. Oh, it was so delicious.
And we've got some fabulous recipes that we put on the TV and online for you this year, so get that recipe book out, man. We've got some great ones.
I also had a chance to talk to Mike Avery. He has one of the best radio shows in the state of Michigan, and so we had a chance to talk about the topics that he has on each week. You can go to his website and really kind of check it out. You can find out about his radio show and where to listen to it. So we've got him, and then we've got Ryan Johnson from Quincy back with a big hunt. It's a 10-pointer.
You got a 10-pointer, so he got an 8-pointer too, so what a great season for Ryan.
All right, and we will have big bucks because it is Christmas.
It's Christmas, and we're going to start out, Tim. We got some dandies this year.
All right, we'll have all that and more coming up. You're watching the Q1 Christmas Buck Poll. He is Rainbuck Hoffner, and I'm Tim Hart. We've got more coming up after this.
Q1 Buck Poll, Michigan's biggest and best buck poll contest. Brought to you by these sponsors who support Michigan's great outdoors.
Back here on the Q1 Buck Poll Christmas edition. Merry Christmas to you and your family. I hope you had a great hunting season, and I hope you're having a great holiday. Well, we've got big bucks from Rainbuck Hoffner.
We've got some great deer, Tim. Let me start right out here with Doug Cook bringing in a 14-pointer from Dalton, and the score was 48 1/4. Then we had Jim Pierce with an 8-pointer from Charlotte. His score was 50 3/4. And Matt Cody with a 15-point buck. The score was 53 3/4 from Decatur.
Rodney Stokes is the new DNR director this year, and I had a chance to catch up with him in Lansing. And you know, Mike, they've got some great plans coming up. They're looking for input from hunters and outdoorsmen from around the state. And so I think anytime people are willing to listen, I think that's good leadership, and they'll take those ideas and make it better for everybody.
Yeah, get on the web, shoot them some of your ideas. Again, we're the people that are out in the field that experience the art of deer hunting. So we're better to hear that from us, the hunters.
Well, we have a special guest here on the Q1 Buck Poll today. We've got Rodney Stokes. He's the director of the Michigan DNR. Rodney, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it.
All right. Now, the DNR has 4 different priorities.
Right.
Let's talk about those and some of the things you want to accomplish in the next couple of years.
Okay, good. Number one, we're starting with customer service. It's very important that our customers are satisfied as they participate in the number of programs that our department has, particularly hunting and fishing. And so we're focusing in on customer service. We're having staff go through customer service training, and so that we can get great feedback from our customers, and so we know how to manage our programs and offer the programs that they want and get them to participate in DNR-related programs.
All right, so customer service is one.
Number two is stop the decline of hunting and fishing and participation in the state of Michigan. We've been on kind of like a 10-year cycle of decline in hunting and fishing license sales, and what we want to do is reverse that trend. First of all, we want to stabilize it to make sure that we kind of flatline it, stop the decline, and then we're going to work on programs to try to get more people outdoors involved in hunting and fishing. We're doing a number of things in that area. We're working with a legislation was just passed that we supported that make it easier for youth to get out and hunt. There's opportunities through this legislation to say that parents are the best to determine what age kids should be out, go out and hunt. We have a work group on that, and it's going to be implemented in 2012. And there's also existing legislation, for instance, the apprentice hunting program, which a person can go out and hunt for 2 years to determine whether they like it before they have to take the hunter safety program. So that program is something that we're going to be emphasizing more. And I guess the last one I want to talk about while I'm here is small game hunting. We know that we can get more people out small game hunting, then we can begin to increase participation in hunting in the state. And we're doing that through what we call a pheasant initiative. We're working with Michigan Department of Agriculture and Rural Development. We're working with Fish and Wildlife Service. We're working with Ducks Unlimited, Pheasants Forever, and a number of other organizations to improve pheasant habitat, not only on state land, but also on private land, to try to get more people out hunting and pheasants and small game.
The director of the DNR has been our guest here today, Rodney Stokes. Hey, thanks for being with us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
What a great job you guys are doing. I'm Tim Hart. You're watching the Q1 Buck Poll. Stay with us. We got more coming up. Time now to talk about giving yourself the best chance when you're out in the woods. We only have so much time to be out there hunting. Well, you want to make sure that your scent is controlled. Jim Lombardi with us here from Buck Fever Synthetics.
Nice,
and Jim, one of the things we want to talk about today, Vanishing Hunter. And there's a lot of different products out in the market, but one of the things about something like this is spray it, clothes, body, face, mouth, everything, because a deer, they can smell a lot of different scents out there. Absolutely. I mean, if you're not taking care of 100% of it, then why just take care of 5% of it? I'm not going to just spray my boots. I want to take care of my breath. Your breath is 70% of your odor. It's, first of all, body temperature, right? And second of all, it's moist. So when you're breathing that air, there's actually moisture going in the air. You see it in the morning, right, when you're hunting? Well, that moisture carries. This product actually prevents the bacteria that's in your mouth, number one. But the biggest thing is it actually takes you and turns you to a prey animal. Sounds crazy. Why does it do that? Do you eat meat? Yes, I do.
You eat deer meat?
Oh, yeah.
I love deer meat.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? I love it all. When you eat meat, amino acids come through your skin, okay? And that is what tells any prey animal or any animal at all that you're a predator, okay? By neutralizing the lactic acid that's in your skin, you just turned into another deer. Well, Jim, like we've talked about, you know, you're really trying to give yourself the best chance when you're out in the woods, and scent control of your body, of your clothes, of your equipment is one of the best ways, isn't it? It should be your priority. It really should. I mean, if you're a smoker and you don't care and you just play the wind, then do that. But if you want a deer to come from any direction, then you need to start with scent control. All right. Jim Lombardi from Buck Fever Synthetics. I'm Tim Hart. You're watching the Q1 Buck Poll. Back here on the Christmas edition on the Q1 Buck Poll, we remind you can go see all of the deer online at q1buckpoll.com, including these big bucks from Big Buck Hoffner.
All right, Tim, here we go. Let's start out with Donald Stedman from Allegan, who brought in an 8-pointer. His score was 47 3/4. Then we had Michael Stamp with a 9-pointer from Decatur. His score was 48 3/4. And finally, Marty Brown with an 8-pointer from Fairgrove. The score, 49.5 points.
One of our favorite segments here on the Q1 Buck Poll is cooking and going into the kitchen, especially when we go into the kitchen to the Soaring Eagle Casino, because their chefs really know how to make some delicious recipes, including today, venison ragu.
Well, Tim, our compliments to the chefs this year we've had on the show. We've had some fantastic recipes.
We're cooking up some venison ragu at the Soaring Eagle. I got Chef Rhonda Nugent with us. Chef, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
All right, I tell you right now, this looks delicious. Venison ragu with marinated mozzarella cheese bread, and I can't wait. We're going to start with the cheese bread, aren't we?
Yes, we're going to go ahead and make the marinade for the cheese bread, and we'll get that cheese marinating so that while we get the ragu in the oven, it can marinate and they'll be ready at the same time. What we're going to do is, in a bowl, we're going to add the juice of 1 lemon along with the zests, which I think is the major flavor with
You're talking about the lemon zest being the major flavor?
Yes. And we use a zester which are a microplaner, which really makes it easy to do. So that's something that you can find in most cooking shops.
Oh, real easy.
Yeah, very easy. Then we're going to add in our spices, which is chili flake, which if you want it spicier, you can add as much in as you want. Italian seasoning mix, garlic, olive oil.
Lots of olive oil.
And a little bit of white balsamic vinegar. You can certainly use the darker balsamic vinegar. We do this more for color purposes.
Kind of whisk it all together.
That together. Very simple. Then we're going to take our mozzarella and cut it into about 1/2-inch slices.
So then how much will we put all of this in there?
Yes, we're going to put all of this in there and then let it marinate minimum of 2 hours. You could certainly do this the night before. I think the longer it's in there, the more flavor that you're going to get.
Okay, Rhonda, what's next?
We're going to go ahead and get our ragu started because we'll need to have that kind of braising in the oven for a couple of hours. And then we're going to add in our pancetta. And we'll just want to saute that for a little bit to render off some of the fat from the pancetta as well, or the bacon. This just adds, fat is flavor, so it adds some wonderful flavors and gives us a little bit of oil to start our vegetables in. It's going to take about 5 minutes. At first what it's going to do is absorb the olive oil, then it's going to start to release the oil and then the extra juices that are in the pancetta. At that point we'll go ahead and add our vegetables in. We're going to add onion. Get all that in there. Carrots. Celery. So give that a good stir to mix all those together.
And again, how long will we be doing this?
This is going to take probably a good, 5 to 10 minutes, just depending on the pan. If you're using a pot that, if you have like a Dutch oven, which is going to be a little bit wider, it may not take as long. Once that's cooked, we're going to go ahead and add in the venison, which has been sitting very nicely in the cocoa powder, olive oil, and salt and pepper. So we'll go ahead and just, pour that into the pan. And once again, kind of break it up. Once that's done, we're going to add our red wine. We've chosen a Chianti. Just go ahead and pour that over. Oh, it smells good already. Now we're going to add our seasonings, our garlic, just a pinch of chili flakes. If you want it really spicy, go ahead and add more. Our chopped rosemary. And the coriander. I've also dropped in the 1 cinnamon stick that we had. I don't know if you saw me do that. Coriander probably isn't a usual seasoning you'll find in Italian cooking, but it's one of my favorite seasonings. So you find it in a lot of the dishes that I do. Okay, and last but not least, we're going to go ahead and add our chicken broth in there. It is soupy looking at the moment, yep.
Now, will it be like that when it comes out?
It will have, some of the juices will reduce, but it's going to have quite a bit of juice, and we're going to, you'll see, when it comes out, we're actually going to take the meat out of the sauce, add a couple more ingredients and reduce that, and then shred the meat and put it back in. Okay, we're going to very carefully then bring that over to our cutting board. And with tongs or a slotted spoon, I'm going to just pull out the pieces of the venison. Once that's done, we've got that all over there. We're going to transfer this back onto the stove. And we're going to add our finishing ingredients for our sauce, which are the roasted tomatoes. And do this very carefully because you can see it's boiling. All right, here's the tomatoes. and our heavy cream. Yum. Make sure you get up all that wonderful vegetable. Go ahead and place it. I would let it just simmer together for at least another 20 minutes so that you can really make sure all your beef has fallen apart and your flavors had married with the tomato and the cream added into that.
All right, so we got things simmering, we got things cooking, we're ready for the bread now.
Exactly. Our cheese has been marinating for a couple hours now, and what we're gonna do is go ahead and pull out some of those slices and lay it right on our focaccia bread. We did slightly toast this bread. You don't have to. I just like it to have just a little bit more crunch, and it will soften up in the oven, but this will give it just a little bit more crunch. But you can see it's got all those beautiful seasonings clinging to it.
Wow. That is simply delicious. And tender.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Put a little of that on there and then give it that a bite together. It's just a really nice combination.
I'm in heaven with Chef Rhonda Nugent from the Soaring Eagle Casino.
Thank you.
All right, what a delicious dish. And you can find all the recipes online at q1buckbowl.com. Stay with us. We got more coming up. Welcome back to the Q1 Buck Bowl's Christmas show. Again, to see all of the deer online, go to q1buckbowl.com, and Big Buck Hoffner, as always, has some of the biggest bucks on the buck bowl.
We're getting down to the wind down to the end of the season. We got 4 fabulous bucks that have brought in this segment. Let's start out with Larry Green's 12-pointer from Sturgis. His score was 47.5. Then we had Landon Hennessy with a 10-pointer from Marshall. The score 48 3/4. Brett Cutler from Coldwater. He brought in a 10-pointer. His score was 48.5. And Brandon Kircherman with a 12-pointer from Northport. The score 48.62.
And you know, Mike, really the story this season has been, especially during the gun season, people have not seen the big bucks, or if they have, they haven't come close enough, or whatever the case is, for them to get a shot.
Yeah, it's been a phenomenal season. I, talked a lot with the landowner that lets me hunt out there. He was concerned about where are all the deer, but it's just not common to his property. It's been kind of a phenomenon all over southern part of Michigan.
Yeah, just a little bit slower. One of the great outdoorsmen here in the state of Michigan is Mike Avery. I caught up with him at the Woods and Water Outdoor Weekend, and we talked about his radio show and some of the topics that he speaks about each and every week. Well, one of our great promotional partners on the Q1 Buck Poll is Mike Avery with Mike Avery Outdoors. Welcome, buddy.
Hey, good to see you, man.
All right, we had him at one of our parties a couple years ago, and we're on the radio with Mike. Mike, one of the things we want to do when we caught up with you today is talk about your radio show,
sure.
The Outdoor Magazine. Tell me about some of the topics and how you formulate the show from week to week.
Well, after being in outdoor television for 25 years, I'm now getting out of that end of the business. I'm going to concentrate strictly on the Outdoor Magazine radio show. We're on 52 weeks a year. We're on stations around the state. We also have a podcast version of the show. But my purpose is to celebrate the history and tradition of hunting and fishing here in the great state of Michigan. That sums up what we're all about right there.
Now, where do your topics come from? Are people calling you? Are you just, again, you've been in the business for a long time, so obviously you have contacts all over.
My story ideas come from being an outdoorsman myself and just following the seasons. I mean, I know what guys are thinking about before deer season. I know what they're thinking about during deer season. I know what they're thinking about walleye season, summer salmon fishing. Because I do it, live it, and breathe it, that's how I get my story ideas. I don't pretend to be an expert on anything. When I don't know the answer, I go to experts, have them on the show. But as far as coming up with topics here in Michigan, it's easy.
You guys do a great job. I love listening to the radio show and look forward to this year working with you again, giving the Big Buck Poll update and telling people what's happening.
Look forward to it. Keep up the good work.
Okay. Well, I will tell you, you can put on your calendar next September the Woods and Water Outdoor Weekend. It was just a great time, lots of action out there, and it's fun for the whole family.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's all about. This whole hunting thing has become a family sport. I mean, since the time we've been doing this show, Tim, we've seen the growth in the amount of kids we see out in the woods, as well as the amount of women that we see out hunting as well.
Now it's time to do a little hunting with Ryan Johnson from Southern Michigan.
Second deer in the morning. See what they do. They'll walk through the water, but they'll use these tree humps. And they'll walk from tree hump to kind of stay out of the water as much as possible. See the hole right there, I think. That wasn't the best shot in the world.
Right here. Put the perfect shot on him, second shot. Dropped him right in his tracks. He didn't even know it hit him. He just fell right over backwards. That was the end of it.
Nice buck, brother.
Nice buck. Other than he's busted off, but that just gives him more character.
Yep.
He's a fighter. He come in, I snort wheezed and grunted him in. He's definitely a fighter.
Again, thanks to Ryan Johnson for sending us that hunt to be featured here on the Q1 Buck Poll. There's still time for you to send us your video footage from this year, and then we can have your hunt on TV here in January and February.
We're getting down to the wind down, Tim, and you're right. We've got about a week to go. There's still deer to be gotten out there in the woods.
And as you can see, I am in the Christmas spirit. I don't have antlers, but I have the Santa hat on, and we want to wish your family and all your family and friends out there just a Merry Christmas and a happy holiday season.
Yeah, it's been a great year so far, Tim. Just a little bit more to go. Then we begin with the prize parties.
Oh, yeah, and we've got the prize parties all set up. January 20th, we kick it off at the Kellogg Arena in Battle Creek. That's going to be for the Kalamazoo area, so the Southwest region, regions 2 and 4 in the Battle Creek, Calhoun County area. So we are ready to do some party, and then we wind it all up March 3rd at the Soaring Eagle Casino. Get your rooms now.
Yep, let's get ready, Tim. It's Christmas.
All right. For Reindeer Big Buck Hoffner, I'm Santa Tim Hart, and we wish you and your family again a Merry Christmas and a happy holiday season. Thanks for watching this week's edition of the Q1 Buck Bowl. Remember, whenever you're out in the woods, be safe.
For the latest on Michigan hunting, pick up the current edition of Woods and Water News, Michigan's premier outdoor publication, available on newsstands or by subscription. Woods and Water News, proud sponsor of the Q1 Buck Poll.
Cut me out.
We would never do that to you on Christmas.
Throw me a piece of coal.
We would never do that to you at Christmas, I promise you.
Goodness gracious. Merry Christmas, Tim, you old Scrooge.
Merry Christmas to me. Do that.
Can you catch it?
No, not really. I was trying to. I was going like this. This doesn't work. I don't know why.